are headed to Suwannee River State Park for the weekend, and traffic is a pain in the butt, but we're in Paynes Prairie rest stop right now, so we are about an hour and a half away. We'll let you know when we get there. Bye.
Hi guys, it's Lauren and
Bob
with
RV Calvary.
Woohoo! Take two.
Yeah, three, yeah, whatever. Hey, we're camping at Suwannee River State Park, and this is kind of our review of the overall of the park, which was, got to say, is going to be a pretty good one. We really enjoyed this park, and this park, if you enjoy the outdoors, let me explain how we enjoy our outdoors. We're not resort people, which doesn't mean we won't go to a resort, but you know, if we're going to
we like nature, we like to look at it.
Yeah, we want
to see it,
and we want to get the hell away. Want to get away from
neighbors.
Well, we found one up there, but not really neighbors so much, but just to get out of the city and the hustle and bustle and the rat race. And we like to go to places where our phones don't work. It's nice, but you can always turn them off too. So, which we typically do. But so our idea of camping may be a little different from yours. If you like the resorts that have the swimming pools and all those kinds of things, then okay, then
that's your cup of tea.
Yeah. So, and some people like that, and I get it. If you're coming from up north and you're on vacation, then those are places that you probably want to visit because you're.
In the summertime, I think we would be more resort people just because of the fact of the pool, because it does get so hot. Yeah,
and we have done it. We do go to the resorts when we're camping, when we're looking to get a place to camp at the beach. Because a lot of the places that we really like Fort DeSoto, and some of the other places, we'll go to. A KOA or the resort style ones and get a spot on the water. There's a time and place for everything, but most of our camping is done on the weekends, and most of our camping is we like to go to the state and national parks for the most part. That's our cup of tea, and the deeper in the woods it is, and the way from everything it is. So our rating on this, which we'll have a link to our blog below that'll give you just a complete outline of how we rated this. We rated on everything from we rate parks based on their amenities, the cleanliness, ease of backing in, a lot of those different scenarios that we find as important as campers. For the most part,
this one is like an A+ because there was no yelling during the backup. That's huge.
Okay, so if you're new to our channel, please like and subscribe. If you're new to camping will either do one of two things, especially, well, camping in general. It'll either strengthen your relationship, definitely test it, or you'll end up divorced. That's just the
and it could be all three gamuts.
It could be. We love camping. We love it. Like it is our thing. We love it, but it can test your patience. What do you think?
It's probably one of my top two now.
Yeah.
that we've been there.
We've had reservations, or we've thought about making reservations, or at least I have, because I usually do most of the reservations, and I say, hey, what do you think about this? And she's like, yeah, yeah, sure.
I don't care.
So,
I'm the one that kind of goes with the flow. Whatever you want to do, I'm good with.
Yeah, so you know, I've seen it on there quite a few times, and you know, this is Florida. If you don't make your reservations in advance in the wintertime in Florida, you're not getting in. I don't care where it is, whether it's an RV resort or state park, anywhere in Florida. The snowbirds come down. We call them snowbirds, but you know, they come down for their vacations.
Which vacations, it's to escape the cold.
Yeah, to escape the cold, and then they go back. And you got a lot of retired people that they live up there during the wherever they're from during the summer, and then they come down here during the winter. I get it. Okay. Floridians are the opposite. We're goofy that way. So during the winter, we go north because that white stuff that you're trying to escape, we like. We went to Tennessee, and when we were up in Tennessee, the funny thing is I'd say 80% of the people that were there were from Florida, which was crazy. So so we all had a big powwow. But, you know, we want to see the mountains. We want to see the snow. We want to see all those different things and camp in it. We don't get to do that. And so, you know, there's no availability in our own state anyway, so it works out. So we kind of do the opposite thing with everyone.
What is a lot of the sayings on these YouTube channels? They're chasing 70 or 75 degree weather, and we're opposite. We're chasing 70. Like 60, 65. Like, yeah, that's what we're chasing.
This past weekend we were chasing 30s.
Yeah.
But you know, we don't have to live in it. You know, and everybody, you know, I've got some friends of mine from up north, and they say, "Oh man, if we lived down there, we'd be at the beach every day." No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. I grew up on the beach. You know, every day when I was a kid, we'd be out in our boats and we did all that. We've done it, you know. Now, I still enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I still love to go out there. We've got our own little, I've got my fishing holes and lobster holes and things like that that we still use. So we do love it. We love the Keys, but it's, you take it for granted when you live here. Just like, you know, if you got a backyard that overlooks a mountain, you know, or you a valley or whatever, you take it, you know, after a while, I guess it becomes old hat, you know, so you want to look at those palm trees. But anyway, Suwannee River State Park, it's a small park. It's about 1,800 acres. It's not one of Florida's biggest parks, but pretty good size. I didn't know anything about Suwannee River State Park. The only thing I knew, everybody knows that the Suwannee River has a lot of history, dating way back, even prior to the Civil War. There's just a lot of history on the Suwannee River. A lot of songs were made about the Suwannee River. The only thing outside of what I read in the history books and stuff like that when I was a kid, you know, whenever you're leaving Florida, you're 75 north, you cross the Suwannee River. You know, and you see the little sign, famous Suwannee River, or whatever the hell it says. So outside of that,
yeah, so there's even a park that's like the Suwannee River Park or Suwannee River Song Park. Or something
there's
like that.
all kinds
I
of
never
stuff.
knew it till we went up there.
So we didn't know what to expect about this place. We had availability now. We're camping in Suwannee River State Park in January. Okay, weather is spectacular. So if you're sitting there looking at snow right now, and weather's horrible, we got blue skies. It is 70 degrees outside, approximately. It got
that warm there? Or are you talking about now?
Well, now,
Oh,
yeah.
now.
When we were up there, which was just last weekend, Friday night was going to be our cold night because it was getting down to 36. A little bit of a concern there, okay? Because our camper is brand new, and we bought our camper from Lazy Days. They check everything. They tested it and all that stuff. But we haven't used our furnace. Because we camp in Florida, we very rarely ever need heat. Okay? We need the AC, but we very rarely ever need heat. So we didn't know whether it was going to work or not.
So we had backup plans.
So yeah, so we brought some
heaters, blankets.
Yeah, we brought the electric little portable heaters and blankets and all kinds of stuff,
and our
just
options,
in case.
I told Madison's options were, okay, if it doesn't work, she could either snuggle with the dog in his bed down here for extra body heat, or she could go sleep in the bed with Dad because they're both hot boxes, and whichever one she didn't do, I was going to do. But it didn't come to that. Thank gosh.
Yeah, so we got there about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, it's about a 3-hour drive for us. Traffic was a bit of a pain. It was Friday. people looking to get out of town and stuff and everything, but we didn't face any backups or anything. So, and once we got on 10, it was smooth sailing over to Suwannee River State Park. Once we got there, we got checked in. Staff was extremely friendly. We knew nothing. I didn't, normally before we go to a park, I'll do some research, find out where we're at. I made these reservations, this January, I made these back in May of last year. So that's how far in advance we had to make them. So didn't think anything of it, made the reservations, boom, had water and electric. We're good to go. Okay.
We had a surprise.
We had a surprise.
Good surprise.
Really good surprise. Which, you know, so anyway, Thursday night we're sitting here. We do our ritual. You know, we're getting everything set up. Everything went smooth. Our menu planning, everything went smooth. She didn't argue or try to pick a fight with me, which was very unusual because she's very intimidating.
Two-way street there.
Just joking. But anyway, so you pick on me a lot. I'm a victim. But anyway,
you get what you give, sweetheart.
So, but anyway, actually, we do have a good marriage, and we
do this all the time.
Yeah, we just rib each other back and forth. So if it's weird, sorry. But
that's us.
Those of you on here that know us know that's just who we are. So it is what it is. So.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. The alternative is not always, the grass is not always greener, right? So anyway.
So I'm familiar, so that's why it's okay.
I didn't mean it like that.
Oh, okay. Everybody, what did you guys take from that? Anyway, let's go.
No.
He's constantly opening mouth, insert foot, and always saying,
That's not,
I take it the wrong way. Anyway.
New subject, Suwannee River. Our old subject. So everything was going smooth. We loaded up the camper. Everything went well. Everything checked out. No issues, no problems. The problem we had fixed the week before. Which was a problem with the camper, even though it's brand new. Okay, we have a Grand Design.
That's a different video.
Yeah, it's a different video. But Grand Design's great. We love them. It's one of the better made products on the road or out there. However, they all have their issues. Okay, so but a lot of these issues I repair myself versus taking them in and waiting a month or two to get it fixed at the dealership. So so everything went well. We get on the road Friday morning. We get hitched up. Everything's going smooth. We're headed down the road. We only made one stop, didn't we? Well, we stopped for gas, and then we also stopped at the rest stop at Paynes Prairie.
On the other side
of Paynes Prairie there.
So the dog could get out.
Yeah, so we did all that. Got there. Couldn't check in until 1 o'clock, so we got to Suwannee River State Park at right about 4 o'clock. So with the time change right now, the sun goes down a little quicker than normally. So right about 5, 6 o'clock, so we only had an hour to get everything. So we pull around, we find our site, and things are just going way too smooth. So roads are nice and paved, very kept up, clean. Park is very clean. So I'm like, I pull around to our site, and they're all numbered there, and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, this is too good to be true. So our site's on the left. To the right is just this big open area that leads right into the dump station. So basically, if you have any of those sites, you can pull all the way in there, and you got a nice, easy thing to back up right into your site. Most campgrounds, you're a little tight backing in. If you don't have a pull-through site and stuff, you just got to maneuver and make your cuts and everything. Didn't have to do any of this. Okay, got it pulled right back in. Site was on level, which it's natural earth or ground. They're graded, but
he says a little. It was a lot.
It was about. There's about a.
When we put the little red thingies to make us level, it ended up. Tires ended up like up off the ground.
Yeah, they're off the ground.
To the top.
Yeah, there's about a 4-inch differential between the front and the rear, and this from each side. So a 4-inch slope is a pretty good slope for a 10-foot trailer. So so from one side to the other was about a 4-inch difference. So, but no big deal. Okay, I'm okay with that. To our surprise, we get unhitched and everything. Everything's going great. Setup went real easy. Can
I tell him the best part?
Okay. Steal the thunder.
We'll say it together on the count of
No,
three.
you can go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
say it together on the count of three.
I'm not going to say it together. Go ahead.
2, 3. Full hookups.
Yeah, that was so. I'm backing up and I'm thinking, wow, this is going to be great. Okay, I brought our tote. Okay, because if you don't know what a tote is, everybody should have one. When you most of the places that you can, most of the state parks only have electric and water. Mm-hmm. Okay, Mayaca's been the only other park, the new section. They don't have it on the other two sections, the older two sections. But most of them only have electric and water. So in the event that your black tanks get full or your gray tanks, you just drain into your tote and you take it to the dump station and empty it. Okay, so I brought our tote. I never went back to check anything about the site. I got the directions and the address of where we were going, and that was it. So she comes around the corner and she goes, and I'm looking, I'm like, wow, this is going to be great. We're going to pull right out of here. I got a clean shot at the dump station. I'm kind of looking around, I'm like, wow, because you always got that line at the dump station there. So I'm like, we're going to be in real good shape. Okay. She gets out and she goes, isn't that sewer? A sewer hookup? And I'm like, so I'm like, yeah. And
Little things that make you happy when you go camping.
Yeah, and I looked at all the sites. Now, and I was kind of envious of the site next to us because it was available when I looked. I'm like, that one has a cement pad with a barbecue grill and everything. I mean, it was beautiful. And it was empty, So, but anyway, no complaints about our site at all. But all the sites had full hookups, which for the most part, I've never seen that in any. Now, there's only 30 sites.
And they had 50 and 30.
Yeah, oh, yeah. The electrical also had 50 and 30 amp. So, now the bad thing about it is if you're over 45 feet, you're not getting in this park because the max trailer is 45 feet, period. Even though they're pretty deep, but the max is at 45 feet. We're at 35 feet, and we had it equated to about a 10-foot difference before we were out in the road. So, but overall, that was a nice surprise. And to us and how we rate a campground it was in the middle of the woods. It was on the Suwannee River. Suwannee River was beautiful. The park's right out where the Withlacoochee and Suwannee River come together. It was absolutely stunning. It was beautiful, and the trails were really, really nice. Me and Madison got up Saturday morning, hit a lot of the trails. She wore my ass out.
I stayed in the camper with Opie where it was nice and warm.
Yeah.
My mama didn't raise
And then we'd come back for breakfast, and then my daughter said, Dad, you want to go again? I told her, I said, I need an IV.
And then Madison comes up to me there. She goes, hey, Dad wants to go back out again. And I'm like, Dad doesn't want to go back out again. He just can't tell you no. I said, that's the thing. And she kind of chuckled, or I was standing there with a smile on her face. And lo and behold, they went out again.
Yeah, and we really did have a really good time. We found a lot of history. That's where the steamboats and everything used to come. There used to be two cities or two towns right there. One of the towns was the town of Columbus, which is where the Suwannee River State Park. On the other side of the river, I think that's part of the Suwannee River, or is part of the Suwannee River State Park as well. On the other side of the river, it was a town of Elville. Okay, so they were right across the street from each other. They're no longer there. The only thing that's left as remnants of that is the old cemetery, which we took a trail out to see the old cemetery. It's one of the oldest cemeteries in the state of Florida. All the graves are from the mid to late 1800s, and it was pretty neat. The building structures and everything are completely gone, but the steamboat used to come up there, and they used to bring cotton and all kinds of stuff from Georgia back and forth. This place is only this park is in North Florida too. It's only 45 minutes from Valdosta, Georgia, so it's
I had
right there.
Georgia radio stations. I couldn't get any Florida radio stations on the radio in the camper.
So
which is fine. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, so in our rating, we like to escape, get out and relax and just see the things that are out there. So when we rate a campground, this one actually rated out at overall at a 4.1 out of 5, which we're very hard on campgrounds. I can tell you very, very few campgrounds that we've stayed at has gone over that 4.0 mark. It's a special type of campground when you go over that 4.0 mark, because I can tell you, I think we only have had, and all the campgrounds that we stayed at, bar none, only in all of our years of camping, only three.
That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah, there is a lot. It may be there's only 3 or 4 that have ever got that 4.0 or greater rating. So the staff at this place, I've never seen a park that had so much staff. I don't know if they have a lot of volunteers. I don't know what the deal is, but there was people everywhere, workers,
Blowing
just
the roads.
blowing the roads, cleaning the place. The restrooms and the facilities were immaculate. Okay, they were clean, clean, clean. The entire campground and the entire park was clean. Me and Madison went out on the trails. They had people riding out on the little four-wheelers and cleaning the signs with Windex that tell you this way, that way, and giving you the little information about, what happened at this particular location, all these different things. They were cleaning everything. They were raking the pine needles. They had crews of people raking pine needles all over the place, and just constantly cleaning the park.
Even the garbage area was clean.
Yeah, that was all clean. So, it was pretty amazing to see. And, Florida state parks are nice, but this was exceptionally, it was kind of over the top. And the staff was friendly. Restrooms and the showers and everything are fairly new. The electrical upgrades in the campground are all, they're the newest we've seen out of any
I wasn't
campground.
afraid to touch the breaker
Yeah,
box
they're
to turn it on.
brand new pedestals, or they're at least within the last 5 years. The funny thing is they were more modern than even Disney, which Disney is the cream of the crop, for that. But their pedestals, electrical system was more upgraded than even theirs, which is surprising. So, everything. I really couldn't say anything negative about the place.
Just there weren't a lot of animals. That was the only really knock. Had it had animals like Mayaca does, I think it would probably be my favorite.
And a big part of that is the time of year we're going. We're going in January. It's hunting season, so a lot of the animals aren't going to be out. This area does have a lot of wildlife.
Were shaded. Now that I think back at it,
Oh,
if we go back in the summertime, even if you go to Mayaca, the newer area that has the full hookups and stuff,
it's in the sun.
Not a lot of those, if any of them, have any shade.
Very few
whatsoever.
of them have shade.
But this park had tons of shade, and not necessarily like hanging over your rig that you have to worry about if you get a rainstorm.
Yeah, or a branch falling down in your rig or something like that. When I looked up, that's one of the things I always look at, because I always look up to see if you got any dead branches hanging over or whatever. Not much you can do about it, but if you get a rainstorm, that could come down. And if it comes down, I don't care what kind of branch comes down. If it's large enough, it's going to do some damage to your rig. Ironically, a lot of the trees and things like that had been manicured, so the dead branches and things like that had been taken down. So they did a really good job on that. One of the things that me and Madison noticed too on the trails, which was really nice, you didn't see any litter. A lot of times, like Hillsborough State Park's really bad about that, because people drive by on 301 and 75 and they throw their crap out the window. Well, it goes down the river and lands up on the sides. Just like when out here, you go to a lot of these islands out there for the day, these little barrier islands that are throughout Florida, and you have stuff that's washed up because people just throw crap, out of their boats, and the cruise ships are really, really bad about that. And we have a lot of them here where we're located. But it was really nice to see. The Suwannee River is also one of the most unspoiled rivers in all of the continental United States. So that was, and it is a beautiful river. It's a black river, like many, that has a titanic acid, whatever the hell that's called. But it was very clear. Beautiful limestone-based river, very deep, obviously. Because we're in January, really didn't see a lot of gators or anything like that. So, which is common this time of the year. It's too cold for them. And it being 36 degrees out the night before, weren't going to see a lot. The good thing is we're all geared up, fired up our furnace, and guess what?
It worked.
The damn thing worked. So had we not brought the electric space heaters, it wouldn't work.
And blankets.
Yeah. So, and I made sure we had extra propane and all that stuff, because since we hadn't used it, I didn't know how much propane we were actually going to go through. And I tried to do some research, but of how much propane you go through in an hour running your furnace and all that stuff. We really didn't come close to that. Our furnace cycled on and off as needed, kept us nice and warm. I mean, it really did. It really worked great. Really enjoyed it. It was cold outside, but we stayed nice and warm in our camper.
Yeah, like Saturday night, it got a little toasty. I did have a pair of sweatpants and just a t-shirt, and then I had a long sleeve shirt on top of that. I did get a little warm, so I ended up taking off the long sleeve shirt in the middle of the night. But other than that, it kept us pretty toasty. And during the day, while Bob and Madison were gone hiking, I did turn it off and just run the space heater here in the living room, and the dog and I just kind of hung out, and we did take a little nap back behind us. And this is his bed.
Yeah.
We snuggled and took a nap. But for the most part, I just put the space heater on the dinette, and it kept it warm enough.
Yeah, and she did that just to basically just to save on our propane, so
Yeah.
But we didn't, I haven't measured to see how much, but we didn't use a lot of propane,
And that's even cooking on the Blackstone.
yeah, we do all our we do all of our cooking on we use propane for all of our cooking, so we have a Blackstone, and
well, even if we cooked in here, it's still propane.
Yep, exactly. So But anyway, that's our review of that of Suwannee River State Park. Read our blog down there to get more details on it. And we hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. And
see you next time, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.